Okay, but the main event locks, for some reason, me and Brevin were talking about it. There's always some weird shit that happens when we seem to lock them. And then if we don't lock them, they perform great. When we do lock a main event, just sketchy. All right. And we're not superstitious. We don't believe in curses. But that bathtub ritual we did, it did really change shit. Okay. A little strange. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on Locked Door MMA. We're your hosts. I'm Brevin. This is my good buddy JP. And in today's episode, we will be breaking down and giving our predictions for every single fight, UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Vallejos. But before we do, JP, we just want to give a quick shout out to you guys as our viewers, our new subscribers. Welcome to the Locked Door MMA community. I know we got a lot of new subs this week, so we really appreciate you guys. And if you haven't already, make sure to join the community right now by hitting that subscribe button. It's free to do and it really helps us out. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2026, guys. So help us reach that goal. And also don't forget to leave a like and a comment on the video to help the boys beat the algorithm. JP, last week was UFC 326. We did quite well. I can't wait to talk about this one.
um, yeah, before we get into it, your thoughts, feelings on the card overall. Like, did you hate it? Did it live up to it? What did you feel?
I mean, I don't necessarily know if it lived up to the overall hype, just because of how things kind of played out. But I was happy with the card. I was entertained. I enjoyed the fights. And maybe there's some bias going into that because the boys were correct more times than not. We had a really good night, had some great dog calls as well. A lot of people that were tailing the picks were winning a lot of money. So I was getting text messages all night. You boys are on fire, all this stuff. I tell you guys every single week, we're the best UFC predictors in the world. And I really mean it when I say that. So I thought it was a good card, at least for us and the channel.
Yeah, and like I kind of get it. We'll start with Chewy Weiss himself. I mean, he's young, so he's going to his wheelhouse, like we say all the time. Go to your wheelhouse, get a win. Dare I say it, a little Jailton Almeida esque. I want to see a little bit more ground and pound or searching for subs. So like I'll hear people out on that. What I'm not gonna sit here and hear people out on is the main event. Okay. A, oh, it's a BMF. The BMF needs to strike, knock people out, and it's cry about it. If you don't think Charles or Max, mainly Charles because he won, if you don't think he's a BMF because of the way he fought, I just think you're a crybaby because you probably pick Max. And then that leads me into the other point, Brevin, where we talk about it's the same thing as Chimaev and Islam's last fights. Boring, boring. We hate it. Boring. Before the fight, you guys are saying this other dude's going to slump him, knock him out, beat the shit out of him. Now that he got exposed and ragdolled, boring, boring. This is boring. We hate to see it. Boring.
Yeah, that's really all it is excuses. Your boy lost you money. Just admit it. I mean, sorry about it. If you want guys to stand up the entire time, go watch boxing. Enough said. I mean, it's mixed martial arts for a reason. Max Holloway got completely dominated from start to finish. And if you want to say that's boring, blame Max. Be DMing Max on Instagram saying, hey, where was the takedown defense all of training camp? You knew it was probably coming. And if he was to sit there and say, well, it's for the BMF belt, I thought we were going to stand and point down every 10 seconds of every round. Get out of here. You were just upset that you lost.
Which, and like, I feel like he was like, oh, yeah, I just got my ass kicked. Like, I don't. And these people that want to say boring. Charles was elbowing him, looking for submissions basically the whole time. Again, it has to be this, oh, it's boring and it can't be. Max didn't get submitted. Like, how many other people can sit there and say they had Charles Oliveira on their fucking back for 25 minutes and they're still awake?
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. Like, settle down. We get it. You didn't
Yeah.
get to see the last 10-second thing. Come on.
And one thing I will say is that Joe Rogan, thank you for calling out all the casuals in the crowd at UFC 326 for booing as that stuff was taking place. And all of you casuals in the comments all week, you can settle down now. Charles Oliveira is your new BMF. title holder.
It's just funny, man. It's funny. Social media is just a crazy place. Everybody, when you have a bad card or you lose a main event pick, everybody's got something to say. They're right on their phone as soon as it's done. But when they're wrong, it's,
They go
no,
into hiding.
they go into hiding or they say, I don't understand why you're being like this, like you're a clown. What? Okay. But everybody gets it right when you don't. Anyways, dominant from Max. Searching for subs though. Okay. You want to say the Rojas one is boring? I get it. Not searching for subs as much. A little bit more grounded pound. Charles was not. Did what he did. Expected from us at least. Everybody else thought he was going to be on the feet. Shout out. I will shout out Brevin. All right. I was on the Max train at first. And Brevin said, hey, let's think about it. More ways to win. And then everybody after the fight was like, oh, well, he never really has fought a grappler like that. Brevin was the first one to bring that up. And then we were like, I was like, you know what? That's a great point. More ways to win. And he is just elite. The Ritter loses. I don't hear
Tucker.
shocker. I don't hear much of it, but I have heard a little bit of robbery calls.
Oh dear God. I mean, just add to the controversy of UFC 326. I mean, if you guys sat there and really thought RDR won that fight, then once again you had money on RDR to pull off the upset and it just didn't happen for you. You can be upset about it, but don't start acting like that was a robbery. Kaio clearly won. It was a unanimous decision. The fight wasn't even close. All right. RDR had some moments in the striking, surprisingly, probably because Kaio had his hands at his hips the
Oh my
entire
god.
fight,
Oh
but
my
he's got no
god.
juice in his hands.
And like and then there were times where he just wasn't throwing shit. He was just sitting there just bouncing. I'm like, brother. If you want to be mad about the 30-27, like I'll hear out an argument like 29-28 Kyle, but no shot robbery. Michael Johnson gets slept and there's talks of weird betting activity. I even saw a tweet that said some gang or whatever was holding his nephew hostage. I
I saw that too. I don't think that was necessarily true. Will say the line movement was weird. We kind of predicted it, JP, when we did last
yeah.
week's breakdown, but then it actually came to fruition. We were telling everyone to have their girlfriends bet on Drew Dober because of his looks. Well, it looks like more than the girlfriends were betting on Drew Dober because that line swung heavy. And then all of a sudden, I was messaging JP and a few of our other buddies, and I was like, well, this line's scaring me right now when all that money comes in late on Dober. Maybe something fishy's going on, but I'm not going to sit here and make accusations.
Yeah. Cuz like you alluded to it, we said in the video like line's already moving. And we were hoping that it was going to move, but we're like, hey, that's why everybody go bet him, but it was already moving at the beginning of the week. So weirder things have happened, but Drew Dober continues to stay racist. Kidding. I'm sorry, Drew. I know Drew Dober watches this show every week. I know those jokes upset you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Dobers, he's been dealing with that his entire career. I mean, the dude is 37 years old. So I think we can drop the whole racist act. Like, he's not okay. I think it's just a coincidental experience that every time he fights, you know, a black guy, he wins. It's I hate to say it like that, but it's just true. And then when he fights a white guy, he looks like he's never fought before a day in his life. So very strange.
Yo, white guy, a Mexican guy. Everybody else beats him. But yeah, it's funny. RoboCop slumps Ferreira. Crazy. Like 3 strikes landed. One of them was a calf kick. Night night. Cody Garbrandt's puking in the corner after getting rocked in the nuts. Let me tell you, Cody, I I feel for you, brother. Okay, I've been there once or twice. I get it. With that being said, Zhao Long's got to be the dumbest human being I've ever seen in my life. Um, Boy got headbutt on a head clash and acted like Cody did it on purpose.
Yeah, he was mad.
You're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. And then afterwards, he just keeps pointing down. bro.
I thought that was funny, dude. I thought that was hilarious. I like Zhao Long for that. Be weird. We need some entertainment. And that fight was a weird one for sure. Cody getting the job done. Like we called it. We said there would be 2, maybe 3 nut shots in that final third round so that Zhao Long would lose 2 points and Cody would win via decision. So
I mean, nobody's more accurate than us. If we're calling that shot for shot, strange stuff. And then obviously we started the night 0-2. Luke Fernandez piecing him up on the feet and then gets hit once and just kind of curls up like a baby. And then Tobias, to dumbass, whatever his name is, we need to go to the ground. You almost hit him with a Sulov stretch to end the fight. And then you sell a ground and pound mounted finish by not throwing elbows, trying to jump a submission, and they get
yeah,
reversed.
fell off. Yeah, unfortunate. And guys, we're never gonna sit here and bet on Bellotto. So if you want to say, hey, you should have picked Bellotto, I'm sorry. You can just turn off the channel at that point if Bellotto's fighting, because we're not ever gonna pick Bellotto. I don't think ever again, to be honest with you. And Nirgage, yeah, he's got no grappling defense, as you saw. He almost got broken to 2 pieces. But oh yeah, let's stand and trade with the better striker doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. And I mean, like, sure, you clipped him, but ground and pound finish slip. Bad IQ. We talk about it all the time. But
Yeah.
9-3.
It's hard to judge a guy's IQ when they're making their UFC debut. So
Yeah.
at least now we have some sort of read on some of these guys.
Yeah. But 9-3. Lock hit. Basic hit, right?
No, I had Fernandez. I liked Luke Fernandez
Mm,
over Bellotto. I'm just a Bellotto hater. Yeah.
yeah.
It was what it was.
Sign me up. I'm right there. Juicer was off by 1 again. Shocker. I don't know if that surprises anybody. But yeah, not a bad card on a heater. Keep it going.
Yeah, let's keep it going for sure. That's going to take us into this UFC fight night. We've got in the main event Josh Emmett, longtime UFC fighter, guys. He's 41 years old. Kevin Vallejos, a young gun. We'll get to that fight, so stick around for that. You don't want to miss it. But let's start at the beginning of the card. We have 2 women who have seen each other before in their past. Piera Rodriguez is taking on Sam Hughes.
Strange one. Strange one to open the card. If you guys are looking for a crazy stacked card, well, and we always say never judge a card by its cover. You know, never judge it by the faces, judge it by the fights that happen. But we'll have to see. This one's got a lot to live up to. Um, but if you're one of those people who watch the show to see who you can fade based off of our picks, Sam Hughes has been notorious as a sneaky little snake that we just can't seem to pick right. Brevin, did we pick her in her most recent win over Shauna? I believe we did.
I can't remember, and I can't remember if we were still maybe split picking because
Right.
I definitely probably would have been on the Shauna Bannon side, but either way, we are aligned as one now, and we'll get this one right.
Yeah, that I'll go back and because all the files are there. Okay, just go back in social media. We'll check and see. But Sam's just every time we break her down, man, she's just a tough cookie. You know, she's gonna out tough some of these girls. She's stronger than some of these girls. She doesn't really gas out much. So just later in the fight, she's just a dog and she'll just outwork girls, really. And we're in the apex. The big thing is when if we're gonna take people down, we need ground and pound. We need submission hunting. We need activity. Control has been shown. Vegas does not give a shit, does not like it. You need to be active on the ground. With that being said, Piera is active. Okay, we're headbutting people. We're looking for these strikes. We're pulling a Cody Garbrandt and intentionally headbutting somebody in the middle of a fight, right? Her striking to me is not that bad. Okay, I feel like it's very similar to Sam. These are 2 very similar girls. They fought before. Piera won. Piera grappled her. Piera grapples in every fight. She looks for her takedowns. She'll throw volume, 4-punch combo, and then step through, try and get a trip, a double leg, something. She'll keep going, pushing back to the cage. I like that. We're not trying to get some whack trip. We're not just trying to body lock and go from there. And Sam, since then, I mean, she's fighting Amarim, who's a good jiu-jitsu girl, not a good wrestler, doesn't throw anything. She threw 12 strikes in that fight she landed. And then she loses to Hardwick, who decent grappler, strong girl, and decent stand-up. And then the 3 fights after that, Dudakova, Luciano, and then submit Shauna Bannon. She's not fighting any other grapplers, and the one grappler she did, she lost to. I just think Piera's stand-up is equal to Sam's, and I feel like she can grapple her still. She's still a pretty good wrestler. Give us Piera Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think really this just comes down to the familiarity between the two girls. Like, if you have a recipe for success against somebody already, the intention is to go out there and implement the same game plan, right? And like JP was saying to you guys, Sam Hughes has just not fought someone that's challenged her wrestling, her takedown defense, quite like it will have to be on display against Piera if she looks to get the job done. With that being said, like JP was alluding to, we've had a tough time with Sam Hughes. These lines are pretty close given the fact that Pierre has already beat Sam Hughes once. But like JP was saying, I do like the activity on the ground. And if we have the wherewithal to just throw anything, caution to the wind, headbutt a girl while you're on top of her, I kind of like the intention to do damage. So I think she has that part. She may not have high IQ. We talk about, hey, let's not pick people with very low fight IQ. Hers might be pretty low on that spectrum there, but she has a skill set to get it done. So Pierre Rodriguez, you are the pick.
Yeah, and I mean, when they are a wrestler, like we talked about Tobias, if you go through Piera's fights, she averages like 7, 8 takedowns shot a fight. So you like to see that. She's at least going to it. So if you want to fade us on the first one, Sam Hughes dog money. That sounds appetizing to anybody. Go ahead. Um, Next fight. This one should be pretty good. Elijah Smith returns after the brutal slam KO he had in his last fight, going up against Su Young Yu.
Yeah, this one will be exciting, guys. If you haven't seen the slam from Elijah Smith, go watch the slam. It was absolutely disgusting. I was out of my seat. I was off the couch. It was probably the highest that I've ever jumped. Listen, I'm a big dude, and I think I had a higher vertical than Eli Stowers, okay, at the NFL Combine this year. That's a poll for those that don't really pay attention to the NFL Combine. But Elijah Smith, very athletic, very strong for this division. He's taken on Su Young Yu, which, JP, typically I'm not a fan of the nicknames that allude to a skill set in MMA. His name is Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, so he's alluding to the fact that he's got good jiu-jitsu. Now, I will say, at least this cat has some submissions on his resume. Okay, we saw Tumen Dembro last week in the art of the KO. Not many KOs going on for Tumen Demerol. Jiu-Jitsu actually has some submissions, so that's pretty cool. But Elijah Smith in this one, we think he's just going to have the more explosive punches. May not be the more technical striker in this matchup, but Yu has a problem moving his head off the center line. He is prone to getting hit. I think there's going to be a lot of scrambles, and we're banking on the younger, more athletic Elijah Smith to win those scrambles and win the position battle there. So give us Elijah Smith.
Yeah, and his dad was in the UFC, wasn't he?
Correct.
Yeah, so he's young, he's learning, 23, and he can grapple too. He can wrestle pretty well. Um, he did get that slam after he was in the triangle. And then Vince Morales, was it the Peruvian necktie or something that he had him in his fight?
Yeah.
So he does, there's some danger there. But like we said in the Vince Morales fight afterwards, he wasn't panicking. We're taking our time. We're staying calm. We're finding ways to get out of it. And on the feet, he is going to be much faster. Um, Sometimes we get a little wild. We load up a little bit, but overall, we just like his skill set more. He's going to be nasty. So give us Smith.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right, moving up. We've got two more women on the palette for you. Bia Mesquita taking on Montserrat Rendon.
Interesting one here. Okay, if you look at Bia, I mean, obviously world class jiu-jitsu. She beat Misha Tate. She beat Mackenzie Dern So her jiu-jitsu's there. You don't got to worry about that. The wrestling is okay. Like I said earlier, we're not necessarily shooting a lot of doubles. She will, but it's a lot of these jiu-jitsu people are just a lot of trips or a lot of back takes from standing. They'll climb you off the cage or whatever, and then when she trips you, she'll immediately try and transfer to the back, which like is fine if you get it. But these other people who have a little bit better takedown defense, that's another chance of like sometimes let's slow down, let's do a little bit of damage, let's work our way towards it because you jump it, then you fall off like Tobias. Her striking in the first round, her striking overall is not good. In the first round, it looks okay. It looks very mediocre. Once she starts grappling and stuff, and she starts to slow down, it just looks atrocious. Not good. No bueno. Montserrat, the heavies, Rendon. I don't want to hear anybody say she's got much better striking. She does not. It looks the exact same. She dips her head more when she goes to throw. I hate that shit. Literally every time she throws, she dips her head a little bit. Wild strikes. She is going to be much bigger, but the reach is not a big difference. I feel like Montserrat gets away with being strong. She is strong and big, and she'll get a lot of body locks, take a lot of girls down from there, double legs, and she'll drive on her doubles because I think the strength is there and she knows that. But I don't think her striking is good enough to be a problem for Bia. Maybe it's just a problem because Bia's head movement is non-existent and her striking also sucks. So maybe that might be an issue, but Bia's world class on the ground in jiu-jitsu. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about her getting grapple fucked, and I don't think this fight's staying on the feet the whole time. So we're taking Bia Mesquita.
Yeah, 1,000%. And here's another poll for you. Montserrat has a grappling loss on her resume to Juliana Miller, which, if you guys are watching the show frequently, we're not very big Juliana Miller fans. We saw her fight
Y-
not that long
You know what's
ago.
crazy? I'm pretty sure
What?
Bia has a loss to her as well.
Did she lose to her as
Yeah,
well?
let me double check that, dude. I forgot about that when you brought it up. Yep.
Oh, she did.
In overtime. Hey,
Yeah, due to the fastest escape time. Okay, it's probably because 'cause she's got a weird posture. Her shoulders are all positioned strange, so
true.
I'm not worried about it, alright? But yeah, be a much better grappler. Look for her to probably find that rear naked choke on Rendon. Alright, let's move up this card, JP. We've got Luan Lacerda taking on Escher Sousa.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Uh, interesting one. All right, Luan, after a long break, came back. We broke down him and Oliveira. I believe we were on Luan. Um, Weird little fight between them two, and he was kind of getting pounded on a little bit, a couple of elbows, and then he snuck out a nice little armbar, little roll through armbar, and that's really what Luan's looking for. He's not looking to stand up. He doesn't really want to wrestle per se. He's one of those guys that, like we said, kind of okay with being on his back because he can do shit like that. But like we get it. But when you get somebody who can also grapple with you, you're on your back too much. Hesher is going to come out like a bat out of hell. Hesher's going to be in his face. Hesher's going to throw big. He loads up a lot. Okay, Hesher does slow down after the first round, but he doesn't necessarily gas out. He just, the pace slows down a little bit, but he keeps coming forward. The pressure is, he's still in your face. Hesher can grapple. He can wrestle a little bit. He's got good top pressure. I want to see Hesher throw out a little bit more of combos, just trying to touch Luan rather than loading up, because he normally loads up one or two shots, which if they land, yeah, they're putting you out. But sometimes we got to put a little bit more out. But Luan's stand up is the butt cheeks. It's slow. Hesher's going to be much quicker. And then Luan going backwards all the time, and then he's going to be on his back. If he doesn't catch a Hail Mary sub, I honestly think he's getting beat up. He might get put out, but we're taking Hesher.
Yeah, 1,000%. I just think the more path to victories lie on the side of Escher Sosa to get it done. Feeling good about that one.
All right. This one's an interesting one. Very excited to see how this fight plays out. Balaji Oki returns, taking on Manuel Sousa.
Yeah, this should be a fun matchup, guys. We do JP and I talked about it before we started filming. We do believe this fight mostly stays on the feet, and both these guys do have power in their hands. Oki, very well built individual. He's been a humongous favorite before in the past. Um, but there's been one flaw to his game, and that's once he's taken down to the mat, he's either getting submitted or he's not getting back up. It's not a great look. You can be a good boxer in the UFC, but you've got to be able to defend takedowns like we saw in the BMF title bout. Um, but with his opponent Sosa, very skilled on the feet as well. I think similarly, you know, built from a power perspective as Oki. Oki may carry a little bit more power, but the quickness level, the technique, the striking ability, I think is pretty much even for the two of them. What really kind of gives the edge to Sosa, in my opinion, is the grappling upside. He does have 3 wins via submission. And I worry that if this fight does go down to the mat, maybe there's a trip, maybe there's a knockdown, something of the sort, that Sosa would have such a big advantage. Not tremendously big, but big enough to where he could either control a round or potentially find a submission over Oki. It just scares me a little bit. Plus this kid is really good. His one loss was a close fight to Archie Colgan, who is actually an undefeated fighter himself. He's 13-0. Has been fighting in Bellator and the PFL, has won 2 PFL tournaments as well. So I mean, good competition, good fighter overall. Oki, he has the UFC experience, but he's going to try to keep this fight at boxing range. And I just think there's more ways to win for Manuel Sosa. So we're taking him to get it done.
Yeah, and like Brevin was saying, we did talk about this quite a bit. This is one of the ones where I was like, hey, dog money Oki. Should we give this a shot? What are we thinking? I kind of want to go Oki. My biggest thing was what is it? Minus 270 for Sosa. UFC experience. Sosa's coming off of one fight contender series. He's almost a 3-1 favorite. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that. So if you are on the betting side, I might even hedge with a couple bucks on Oki, right? But just like I said last week, I'm sitting there thinking about going for Max, and Brevin reminds me, hey, if they're both equal on the feet, who's got more ways to win? Let's keep going to the wheelhouse. What more do we have in our bag, right? And Sosa does have a little bit of the grappling upside, right? He at least has finishes there. Oki, he's one of the guys who's just beating the shit out of Chris Duncan, and then Duncan hits his natural jump the gilly because we're sticking our head in a guillotine because our double leg shot, we're grabbing both the legs and basically wrapping him up for him and sticking our head in his armpit. Don't like that one bit. And is Sosa going to jump gilly? I'm not saying that necessarily, but like Brevin said, you just got more in your bag. You have more upside, more ways to win. So close fight. If you are betting, like I said, I might throw a couple bucks on Oki just to hedge a little bit Oki money line because on the feet, I think it will be a good fight. But yeah, we're taking Sosa.
Yeah, 1000%. And guys, that's the difference between if you're looking to find like the value bet versus us predicting the winner of the fight. I just think Sosa's going to win the fight, but if you're looking to bet it, Oki by KO might be the play. That's his true path to victory there. All right, that's going to take us up to what should be a really good fight between these two. Chris Curtis is taking on Mikabek Orolbai.
Um, I feel like this fight should be up on the card farther.
Maybe it will be when it's all said and done.
I think they should bring a Hardwick.
Hardwick down. I
Yes,
agree.
they should replace this. Also, what Brevin said, yeah, contrary to popular belief, our bets are not always exactly what we pick. Pretty crazy. People go, hey, your record was 8-4, so you didn't make any money. I mean, our bets are not exactly what we pick, but sure. Anyways, back to Mito Back Orbai, the guy from 10,000 BC. Okay, is he going to come at you with an overhand? Is he going to shoot a double? Is he going to jump off his Siberian tiger with a spear? Nobody knows. Okay. And I'll tell you one thing. If you're beating his ass and you punch him in the face to where his eyes close, somehow he still sees you. Okay. The ref asking him, how many fingers? He got it right. Was it a dice roll and he guessed? Was it not? Nobody knows. He still got it right. And then he came back and almost won that fight. Meet the Beck's a dog. He's coming off a nasty KO of Jack Hermanson. And me and Brevin were talking about the biggest thing. We liked Mito Beck before, but at 155, he had problems making weight, a lot of catch weight bouts. Ever since he moved up to 170, he's a problem.
Yeah.
Good wrestling, long arms. He showed he's got power. His striking isn't like the smoothest, cleanest thing, but he can strike. He's technically sound. Defensively, he's okay. He's got to move his head a little bit more. We get hit a lot. Chris Curtis, you know what you're going to get. Philly shell, strong, decent takedown defense. And he's just going to try and outbox you and outstrike you. And then he's going to sit there and get an argument with Sean Strickland, not getting an argument. They're friends. They're not friends. Who knows? But Chris can get taken down. He has before, and the fights that he fights good grapplers, they take him down and he loses. I know the split decision with Brendan Allen. I don't believe that was a split, but is what it is. But yeah, we're taking our boy Mito Beck. What a bite! And we're all eating woolly mammoth after this, maybe after his hunt. Who knows? But give us Mito Beck.
I love that. Meek the Bet going on a hunt for the woolly mammoth. Um, Yeah, guys, that's what I see in this fight. I just think he's going to be, looking like his best version at 170, and not a lot of guys, JP, knock out Jack Hermanson. We saw Joe Pyfer lose to Jack Hermanson, right? And many would sit here and argue that Joe Bodybags Pyfer has a power advantage over Meek Beck Orolbai. Well, I don't know, dude. Orolbai's throwing hard at 170. I think not having to make that extra weight cut is just giving him fuel. Chris Curtis, fairly one-dimensional, like you had mentioned. And then Orolbai just with the grappling upside, right? He can wrestle, he can get Curtis down to the ground, and he's got submissions in his bag as well. So I like Meek Beck in this spot. He's just got to stay safe and not eat big power shots coming back at him because we've seen Meek Beck just eat shots. He is durable, but if you eat too many, I feel like Chris Curtis could either get out ahead on the judges' scorecards with the boxing or potentially injure you really badly, potentially putting your lights out. He just got to stay safe in that department, but he's got the skill set to get it done for sure.
100%. And then we're going on the hunt with him. Okay. Riding a Siberian tiger. Throwing spears. Pushing woolly mammoths off a cliff. All right. Next one. Moving up. An absolute banger. One everybody's excited to see. Two absolutely hot prospects. I mean, can't miss TV. It's Eric Anders going up against Brad Tavares.
Yeah, I know you said hot prospects. I mean, both the guys pretty good looking guys. All right. Eric Anders, former linebacker, absolutely ripped for his age. How old is he now? 38 years old. And Brad Tavares, I mean, before Drew Dober, we had Brad Tavares looking good there, man. Um, I don't like this fight at all, JP. I think we're just gonna have to take it back to our first few episodes on the channel years ago at this point and say this is the poop bowl of the night. Two 38-year-old men going at it. Who cares? What is it gonna do for that division? Neither one of these guys is gonna move up in the division. I think it's just to make a paycheck and to fill a spot on the card, and I hate when they do that. But you know what? If we're looking at this fight holistically, I think Brad Tavares is the cleaner striker. I think Eric Anders has really shown the signs of aging. They're both good wrestlers if they need to be, but at the ripe age of 38, I think this fight's going to stay standing. Now, JP said it, and he'll probably say it again for you guys. But before we started filming, he said Tavares just can't get knocked out. Eric Anders does have good power. Tavares has been hit before, but I do think that more technical, cleaner striking is going to be on the side of Brad Tavares. So give me Brad Tavares to get the job done.
Yeah, not much to it, man. I mean, pick your poison. If you, like Brevin said, if you want to be on the side of Eric Anders is, or Brad Tavares is chinny. He gets hit and he goes to bed night night. Eric Anders is knocking him out. Sure. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you that he's not. You're on the side of Eric Anders can't win a decision because he can't. 6-6 in his career with decisions. That's how he loses. So you say Brad Tavares all the way by decision. Give me my money. Sure. 100%. If you're betting on it, those are the two props you're betting on. I might sneak a little value I mean, overall for the show, probably won't bet on it. No parlays, nothing. Um, Eric Anders round 2, round 3 KO, or Brad Tavares by decision. Probably what you're looking at. But yeah, we're taking Brad Tavares, more overall well-rounded, great takedown defense. Just can't get caught.
Yeah, 1000%. All right. Moving up to a fight that I know JP is excited about, and so am I. We've got Bruno Silva taking on Charles Johnson.
A little short notice action here. Okay, I don't know how short of notice it was. Bruno
Probably
Silva.
about probably about 5'4", if you ask me. That's how short of notice it was.
Oh man, you see that interview with Sean and that, I forget who that one guy is. He's like a troll basically online. He just makes fun of people in the interviews and stuff. And he was asking him, what's the point of being tall when you're just getting beat up by the short guys in your division?
It's
um,
hilarious.
he said a different word. I don't want to say it on the show because I don't. I don't want to have to cut something else out and possibly be worried. um, Bruno originally supposed to fight Kavanaugh, so I don't know. I could probably do math. Think about when Kavanaugh got replaced onto Mexico City, but we know who Charles is. Charles is our guy. Okay, good striking, great footwork, takedown defense. People want to say is mediocre. He's got great scrambles. He's got good cardio. He's not a slouch. Can you sub him? Sure. You have to be an elite grappler to even hold him down. Charles is a very well-rounded fighter. I will say Charles tends to lose the first round, get hit a little bit. I know he just got slumped. I understand that. Forgetting who it was. Alex Perez. Bruno Silva is no Alex Perez. Okay, Alex Perez is fighting elite competition all the time and then just got hurt. I understand we picked Charles in that fight, but we said it was going to be a close fight. Alex is good. Bruno gets hit a lot. Bruno's looking for takedowns. I mean, he's also fighting good people, but like his wins are against Hyun-Sung Park. I was high on him at first, and then I wasn't. And Cody Durden. And Cody was lighting Bruno up as well. Let's not forget that. Cody was lighting him up on the feet. Then he's getting knocked out by Manel, getting knocked out by Joshua Van. I think the speed on the feet is going to be very evident, very quick. And if Bruno wins the first round, fine. That's perfectly okay. I'm probably looking at Charles Johnson round 2, round 3 KO anyways. And honestly, I might wait to bet on this and let Bruno win the first round and then catch Charles Johnson at a better money line. We're taking Charles Johnson.
Yeah, I think if you just look at Charles Johnson's career, I mean, look at the guys he's beaten. We've got Joshua Van, who's now the champion, and Loner Kavanagh very recently as well, who just beat Brandon Marino. Um, they say one of the best things to happen to a guy is to lose to Charles Johnson. So, if Bruno Silva goes out there and gets starched, then start betting him to be the
Yeah.
next title contender because Charles Johnson just has a little bit of a I guess you could call it a curse. He has a little some magic to his punches, I guess. But yeah, give us Charles Johnson, cleaner, much longer, big. It's going to be hard to hold him down at 5'4". Charles Johnson's got the reach. He uses it well. He's got good power in those hands as well. So look for him to start teeing off. And honestly, JP, I would love if we saw Charles Johnson just get out to a hot start in round one. I know it's not really his forte, but I would love to see it against a guy like Bruno Silva and then really just build off of that from there into round two and into round three.
Yeah, don't pull a Cheeto Vera and keep giving up these first rounds. You know, don't because he does get hit a little bit, but I mean the big things that we talk about all the time on the show: footwork, volume, cardio. Charles Johnson's got all three phenomenally well. So, all right, moving up, the big boys, the big boys. And speaking of big boys, one of them double big, extra wide. Okay, he's buying 2 airplane seats probably. Vitor Petrino comes back for second, third fight at heavyweight, going up against
Third, I believe.
Steven. I don't even know his nickname. This guy got a nickname?
Concrete.
Concrete. Steven Concrete Asplund.
Yeah. If you guys know Steven Asplund's story, I think he used to be like what, 400
5.
pounds, something like 500 pounds. Lost a ton of weight. Great for him. He's carried some of that power into his fights. He's knocking people out. The one thing that I worry about with Asplund, one is the cardio, right? If it's going past the first round, what does he look like? And then two, the grappling. We've seen in his past, once he gets taken down, he is a turtle on the mat. Vitor Petrino, very skilled grappler. Yes, he is moving up from light heavyweight. He's been at heavyweight now for 3 fights, I believe. He is starting to fill into that heavyweight frame. But I do kind of like these heavyweights that carry some of that lighter frame. They still have the power. He just knocked out Thomas Peterson, who's a true heavyweight. And then he's got the grappling. So I think in this fight, Vitor Petrino is going to be able to find a takedown against Steven Asplund. And then from there, he's either going to look for the sub or the ground and pound. Give me Vitor Petrino to get it done.
Yeah, our one thing about Vitor's possible IQ problems, right? I mean, I don't know if you can call it IQ with the why am I forgetting his name? The guy that knocked him out. There's like
Was it Jacoby?
yes,
Dustin
Jacoby.
Jacoby?
Dustin Jacoby. We locked Vitor in that fight. That was in December. I think it was one of, if not the last card of the year. Um, I remember that because I was in Vegas to watch a Raiders game, and I was just sitting on the couch, and I'm so upset. Vitor's winning the whole fight, and then gets slumped with a 1-2 down the pipe. Asplund's best chance is going to be on the feet here. Right, Asplund throws big, but in his last fight, I don't like it. They're just both sitting there flat-footed, just slugging.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say flat-footed, I mean there's never been a truer nickname. Concrete. He's standing there not moving. um, Vitor's not going to do that. Vitor will. He's fast. Like Brevin's saying, he's a heavyweight with a lighter frame. He's fast. Dude's got big fucking legs too. So don't be surprised if he's eating up Asplund's legs, kicking to the body. But like Brevin's saying, Vitor on the ground is not a slouch. He will take him down and choke you out. If you put Asplund on his back, it's not good. Your takedown defense can be fine and dandy, but once you get on your back, if you're a turtle like that, it's a problem. And you see it with these big guys. Sometimes they're not as nimble. They don't have good flexibility. It's tough for them to get up. And the perfect way, I understand Vitor's big, bulky, and we talk about takes a lot of oxygen to carry around those muscles. But the perfect way to slow down Asplund is to put him on his back, put him on his ass, and make him wrestle and then stand up. And Vitor's hand speed, I think, is Steven's got good hand speed. Probably pretty similar, but Vitor's movement, yeah, give us Petrino.
Yeah, 1,000%. And what JP was mentioning about the IQ, JP, I feel like he kind of makes up for that once he moves to the heavyweight division. The speed, the accuracy with the punches, the quickness, like that kind of covers up some of the IQ decision making stuff because the heavyweights can't capitalize when maybe Vitor is being a little silly and getting choked out by Anthony Smith, right? And some of these light heavyweights that have the skills to do something like that to him when, it's a little bit later in the fight. So, yeah, I think the move to heavyweight was the best thing he could have done for his career. I really saw it going downhill at light heavyweight, but at heavyweight, I kind of like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, true. And like you're saying, the speed, like he's gonna be able to run circles around a lot of these guys with how slow they are. So
All right. That's going to take us up to the next fight. We've got Marwin Rahiki taking on Harry Hardwick.
Harry Hardwick, dog money. We're doing it. Now, if you see anybody telling you that this weekend, their credibility goes out the window. Harry's slow. Harry's striking looks like butt cheeks. Harry will and always has had problems with leg kicks. Cowboy Fernandez showed you that. We told you that was going to happen. Actually, that was a late notice replacement. Um, but if we would have broke it down before, we would have told you he's going to eat up his fucking legs. Rahiki's going to be much quicker. He's longer, I believe, right? Pause.
A little bit, an inch.
Tiny bit. So yeah, nothing crazy. But Rahiki throws with conviction. Okay, he can grapple a little bit. So can Harry, but I don't think Harry's going to take him down and ragdoll him. He's got good scrambles. This kid's got good pace, good volume, good pressure. He's coming to fight. He wants to win. And the biggest thing, you watch his contender series fight. Yes, he does get clipped. Okay, so I will tell you guys, I'm not a big fan of his striking style. He can put people away. He's come out and said that his low hands are part of his style. We all know how that goes. It's a part of everybody's style until you get clipped and put out. He got clipped multiple times in a contender series fight against a guy who throws absolute bombs. And he's not pulling a Luke Fernandez. Okay, he's not rolling over to his stomach and just laying there. Okay, he's rolling this way. He's rolling that way. He's grabbing him. He's kicking him. He's trying to get off. He's standing back up. He's circling out. He's willing to fight. Okay, he will fight for your money. He's not just gonna roll over and lay down unless you put him out cold. And Harry sucks. He just does. All right, we're taking Rahiki, Rafiki, Mufasa, whoever it is. We're taking him.
Yeah. Mr. Freaky Rahiki. Um, Hardwick, guys, like he will put pressure on guys, right? Like he'll march forward. I'll give him that, and he can wrestle a little bit, and he's determined out there. But as we saw in his last fight, put a couple of those calf kicks out there. I think it's really going to slow him down. I saw his left leg just completely swell up to oblivion. And sure, Fernandez is really good with his calf kicks, but so is Rahiki. He's a good striker in his own right. So I feel like you could just throw a couple of those. Hardwick's going to be very hesitant to fall into the same trap that he did in his UFC debut and get stopped via the leg kicks. But we've seen this before, and some of these guys that can't take these calf kicks very well, I don't know if it's just the shin conditioning or what, like they fall prone to it again and again. It just doesn't change overnight. And I think Rahiki is going to be able to prove that on Saturday. So give us the Australian.
Yeah, and hey, Brevin might be onto something there for all you prize picks or underdog guys with the over and unders. Um, Harry's probably going to be pretty hesitant of that calf kick, like he's saying. So, could look at taking Harry's under. That might be a possible lock on the significant strikes and parlay that with something else. But yeah, I mean, you get to this level in the UFC and you're still having trouble checking leg kicks or getting out of the way of them. You're probably going to get eaten up by a majority of the fighters. All right, moving up. Probably one of, if not my favorite fight on this card, with one of the show favorites for sure lately. Andre Fili is taking on Jose Delgado.
Yeah, good fight between these two. Very similar, actually, both in size but fight style as well. Both of them have great hands. I think this one's going to be such an exciting matchup because it more than likely will stay standing. So here you guys go. If you want to redo at the BMF title, Andre Fili, Jose Delgado will go out there and swing for your money. We just like Delgado a lot more. He's younger. He's going to be powerful, very, very skilled. He had a very good fight against Nathaniel Wood in his last time out. And then one against Hyder Emil, who's dangerous, and has had some other really solid fights before that as well. So I just think Jose Delgado has the skills to beat Andre Fili, and he's got the power to potentially knock him out. We're taking Jose Delgado to get it done. Look for him to potentially find that KO against Andre Fili.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, Fili's decent, you know. Fili can scrap, well-rounded guy, but Jose's super dangerous on the feet. And the one thing that Jose does that I absolutely love is when he's striking, if you're backing up, he'll throw combos and volume, and then he'll step through and stance switch and keep you on the back foot and either cut you off again or then throw something from that other side. I love it because people are caught dipping, people are caught trying to circle out, and then they get hit with a body kick or they get hit something from the other power side that they weren't expecting. Um, and he's coming off a loss to Nathaniel Wood. I'd still think he got robbed. I think that's an absolute robbery. Nathaniel Wood, 2 of 3 takedowns with 58 seconds of control time. And Delgado's got more control time. Delgado's got fucking almost 40 more significant strikes landed. Both of them had a knockdown. Talk about a robbery. I was screaming it when it happened, but yeah, I think Delgado's just overall better at everything than Fili is.
Yeah, 1000%. All right, that's gonna move us up to two guys in this light heavyweight division who have been kind of hit or miss. We've got Umar Sai taking on Ian Cutelaba.
Oh, man. I mean, I want to say one of the original guys that we talked about having IQ problems.
The whole
The Hulk. I know somebody else's nickname is the Mindless Hulk, but I mean, pretty much the same goddamn thing, dude. Ion Cutelaba. I mean, the records speak for themselves. 19-11. Okay, overall, and 8-10 in the UFC. Everybody's saying, "Oh my god, but he had a draw with Dustin Jacoby. He looks decent. Draw. Who cares? He's losing to Ryan Spann. Johnny Walker's choking him out." And then everybody's saying, "Oh, dude, but he beat Ebo Aslan. He choked him out. He's a grappler now." No, he's not. Ebo sucks. Okay, I will continue to scream that from the rooftops. Umar Sai is another guy who's just being a pansy and not doing enough in these fights. All right. He did enough in the Brenton Ribeiro fight, but in the Alonzo Metafield fight, we're not throwing. We're barely shooting takedowns, and when we are, we're just not really looking to do anything with them. We're just keeping position, and Umar's got the potential to be nasty. He's got grappling. He's got striking. Big son of a bitch. Long dude. What's his reach? 83 inches. 8 inches of reach here. It's a recipe for, hey, take a page out of Suma Derje's book. Throw a fucking jab right down the middle. I don't care if it's got pepper on it. I don't care if you're loading up. I don't care if it's the softest thing ever. Keep throwing it and just touch him. Touch that nose. In the third round, it's going to be annoying. The second round, it's going to be annoying. Doesn't have to be hard. Some of them will be hard because he'll probably walk into it. Ion Cutelaba is not good. He's just a dog with power. He'll put pace on you if he hurts you. He's just a guy who's just going to try and implement his will, basically overpower you. Literally make it a scrap. Make it a street fight, essentially. Make it dirty. Umar Sai's got all the ways in the world to win this fight. He just needs to put it together. We're taking Sai.
Well, let's keep in mind this is a guy with not a ton of UFC experience, right? Where you look at Ian Cutelaba, he's fought a lot of people in the UFC. Umar Sai, I think he learned from that loss to Menafield, and then he came out against Ribeiro and got the job done in the first round. That's what we expect to see from Umar Sai. And I think he can find success again with Cutelaba being a much shorter and not having as big of a reach as some of these other guys that he's fought. Umar Sai, throw the 1-2, keep Cutelaba at range when you're striking. But I mean, I think Umar can out grapple him as well, find some takedowns, maybe find that submission on Cutelaba. Cutelaba hasn't fought all that bad as of late. I'll give him that. I know he's made a lot of changes to like his camp, his regimen, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, Umar Sai's just got more ways to get it done, and we like him a lot. He's just got to put it all together.
Got all the possibility in the world, man. The size, the skills.
Yeah, all the potential. All right, that's going to take us to the co-main. We have another women's bout here. Amanda Lemos is taking on Jillian Robertson.
All right. Interesting one. Yeah, I've heard a couple things already about this fight on social media. People talk about Lemos dealt with the grappling of Tatiana well, which, sidebar, I know me and Brevin talked about it a little bit this weekend. Patchy Mix, yikes, got the shit kicked out of him, literally, by a 17-year-old. The downfall is crazy. Now, saying that, the reason I brought up the Tatiana thing is because I feel like Tatiana's got Patchy Mix-esque syndrome. She has a lot of talent, can't really put it together in the octagon. And she was hurt a lot before. I don't remember. Did she go through cancer at one point? She had cancer of some sort? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Believe something like that that kept her away from the sport for a little while.
Yeah, or she was like really sick or something. So I'm sure that took a toll. You could definitely tell in the Zhang Wei Li fight that took a toll. But Tatiana can wrestle. Amanda dealt with it okay. Still lost. Right, Jillian Robertson, that's what she's looking to do. Her stand up's decent, doesn't move her head too much, but she uses her stand up to get to her wrestling. Now, I said earlier, this is Vegas. They do not give a shit about grappling, control, wrestling. Jillian is not a Jailton Almeida type grappler. When Jillian gets you down, she is going to do ground and pound. She's going to look for submissions. She's going to be very active on the ground. She's not going to stall out, hold a position, not do anything with it. She's going to throw elbows. She's going to throw punches. She's going to look for a finish. Okay, so we are not worried. We're picking Jillian Robertson. Okay, that's our pick. Lemos is going to be the better striker, so if we stay on the feet, it's going to be a problem. But Jillian, we're not worried about the IQ. She's grown quite a bit, and she's going to go to her wheelhouse. We are very confident in that. And if it gets to the ground, Amanda's been shown she's looked a little bit better. I mean, I'm sure when you get your ass beat by Wei Li, it teaches you a thing or two. But Jillian's just too active, a really good grappler. She might finish her on the ground. Amanda's just old, and we're just not going to stay on the feet the whole time. Give us Robertson.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, JP. I mean, Robertson, you talk about, you know, the fight IQ and kind of being around the block. Like she's 13-6 in the UFC. She's been in the UFC since 2017, and I feel like she is now finally coming into her prime, if you will. I think she's just kind of reached this new level that she's figuring out what's working for her. She's well coached. She comes out of a good camp. She has a good game plan going into every single one of these fights. I know she's like cornered by Dean Thomas, and so like she knows what she's supposed to be doing, and she's a good grappler. She's a good wrestler. She understands how to win fights, and that's what I really like. She's on a nice little win streak. What's she at now? One, two, three, four, 5 wins in a row. Looking good while doing it in those performances. She's just got to make sure that she doesn't get too comfortable standing at range and striking with Lemos, who I think will hold the advantage. She's got to move her head, get inside the pocket, find the takedowns, and then from there, let her go to work, find the top control, land ground and pound, and she'll get the job done. I like Jillian Robertson as of late, and I like her against Lemos. Even though Lemos has had flashes, she just doesn't throw as much volume as I would expect from her being purely a striker.
I mean, that's a great point because, both of them, we talk about looking at the stats and stuff. Both of them have had quite a few fights in the UFC. And Jillian has 2.8 strikes landed per minute, while Amanda's only got 2.7. So, I mean, that's another thing me and Brevin are big on all the time is volume. And like you said, when you're just a striker, or you're a dominant striker, that's your way to win. If you're not at least landing 3 to 4 strikes per minute, not great volume, especially when you have this big of a sample size. Not great volume. All right, moving up. We made it. We're here. The main event. Going to be a good one. If you like striking, then you're not a big grappling guy. This one is probably for you. Okay, all the people saying it's boring, fear not. You got a good main event. Josh Emmett. Josh, 41-year-old Emmett. Is that what it is? My God. Taking on one of a show favorite, Evan Vallejos.
Yeah, JP's not kidding when he says show favorite. We've been, talking about this guy, tracking this guy ever since he came into the UFC. One of the individuals that, if you go back and watch his Contender Series fight against John Silva, nobody knew who either guy was at the time. John Silva, as you guys know, has turned out to be what he is now. He lost to John Silva via unanimous decision, but arguably gave him one of the toughest fights that he had up until the Diego Lopez fight. That then caused Vallejo to kind of be a little bit delayed in making his UFC debut. Came back on the contender with an absolute vengeance, finding the knockout in the first round, then another first round knockout. Fought a really good fight against Danny Silva. Kind of, showed off the crisp, clean boxing for all 3 rounds there, and then knocked out Giga Chikadze, who is a very tricky individual to fight. Now he gets Josh Emmett, who's going to be sitting there looking for the big home run knockout kill shot at 41 years old. There's a reason that Vallejos is such a big favorite. We're taking Kevin Vallejos to get the job done. His striking is going to be cleaner. He's powerful. He's young, but he has a lot of high level experience, which we really, really like inside of the UFC. So give us Kevin Vallejos to get it done.
Yeah. I mean, just love the footwork, the combinations, everything about his striking, where he holds his hands, his head movement, just the way he moves. When you go to learn striking, whether it's kickboxing or anything, you always hear coaches say striking's like dancing. You got to have a little rhythm to it, a little bounce to it. I mean, Kevin Vallejos' striking is just gorgeous to watch. And Josh is who he's always been, man. He's got a big fucking right hand, and you are going to want to sprint away from that right hand. Okay, ask Bryce Mitchell. I'm pretty sure that's what made Bryce as brain dead as he is today. Is because Josh Emmett, I mean, the dude was seasoned on the ground. Terrifying to watch. And Josh can wrestle. He can grapple. So can Kevin. And Kevin's footwork is great. He's going to be much faster. Josh has got a lot of steam and a lot of gas in round 1 and a little bit in round 2. After that, slows down considerably. Dude's getting mad and yelling at Yusuf Zalal because he can't catch him. Can't corner him. And people are again saying Yusuf Zalal was running. He's on his bike. If you don't have the footwork to keep up with me, why would I stand in front of you when you're a one-shot hitter? Like, this is not a street fight. This is not UFC, the video game, where it's, hey, no grappling, let's just stand and bang. It's not how it goes. If you win, you make money, you get closer to the title. Everybody knows Josh Emmett's got a big right hand. He's going to try and load up at some point, try and clip you. Other than that, you can outwork him on the feet by using your footwork and volume. That's what Kevin's great at. And he's getting clipped by Jean Silva. He's clipping Jean Silva. A guy who, besides getting spinning elbow KO'd on Diego, I say it all the time, was lighting him the fuck up. Give us Kevin.
1000%. Guys, that does it for the card. It doesn't do it for the show. Don't go anywhere. We got your free show parlays coming your way right now, starting with LockedDoorMMA's Lock of the Night. JP, why don't you tell the people who we are locking up?
I'm interested. You guys are taking a guess. Who's it going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? Last couple seconds. Could be a couple of them. We discussed a couple of them. It's not going to be Kevin. It will not be Kevin. We like him a lot, okay? But the main event locks, for some reason, me and Brevin were talking about it. There's always some weird shit that happens when we seem to lock them. And then if we don't lock them, they perform great. When we do lock a main event, just sketchy, all right? And we're not superstitious. We don't believe in curses. But that bathtub ritual we did, it did really change shit, okay? A little strange, all right? But with that being said, the other guy we like a lot, who might even get a finish, pretty similar to the guy he's fighting, he's just better all around, Jose Delgado. We're taking Jose Delgado. We're locking him up. Better all around. Dangerous on the feet. Andre Fili's going to have to mind his P's and Q's, and even then, he's probably going to lose by decision. Give us Delgado.
Yeah. Give us Delgado, and that's going to take us into Brevin's basics, starting with that lock. Jose Delgado getting it done against Fili. And then, you know what? I'm okay with it. Let's throw in Kevin Vallejos into the basic. And then to round out the basic, we're going to take a shot on a big boy, Vitor Petrino, to get the job done over Steve Asplund.
Hey, little Vitor action. So as we're sitting here doing this, I just realized your boy didn't make the juicer. That's okay, because we're going through it right now. All right, Brevin, dare I say we're putting both the women's fights in the juicer?
Wow, look at you taking chances.
Psych. What the? No, 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 no. We are not doing that. All right. Didn't mean to freak everybody out. We're not doing it. All right. Juicer's made. Pretty nasty little juicer. Let's go through it. Sit down. Shut up. We're not losing by one leg this time. God, we're absolutely the best at doing that. It's like bocce or curling. You know, closest to that little center. Who can get the closest without hitting? And we're just the king of doing that. First leg, our boy. And we're going hunting afterwards. Mito back. Orolbai. Throw him in there. We think he gets it done over Chris Curtis. Next leg, Charles Johnson, short notice. He's beating up Bruno. Okay? And he might do it in the second, third round. Late finish. That's what he's known for. But he is beating up Bruno. I'm back in Brevin. Is it a bad idea to throw this guy in there? We talked about IQ problems. But on the ground, the other dude is a massive turtle. Call him a tortoise, making the little noises the turtles do at the zoo. And he can't get up. Throwing Vitor Petrino. Okay. Next one, Jose Delgado. Lock is a lock for a reason. He's getting it done. And then the co-main and the main, Jillian Robertson, potentially getting a sub. Does she ragdoll, Lemos? I don't know about ragdoll, but we're getting it done with the grappling for sure. Lemos is old, man. And then the final one, Kevin Vallejos over Josh Emmett. 6 legs, plus 581. You will notice we don't got any dogs this week. That being said, I agree with what Brevin said. We pick based off of what we see on film, based off of how we feel about certain techniques and this and that. We do not pick just because one guy's a dog, the other guy's not. And the Blagioki fight is perfect. I told you guys, if you're going to bet, I might bet Oki. We're picking the other guy, though. Okay? Bets are not the same thing as picks. Everybody cares about how many dogs you got before the fight goes off. After the fights are done, like Brevin said, the only thing people give a shit about is how good your record is. It's what it is. We'll have to see which dogs come through because we understand that statistically, normally a couple are going to, but we feel good about it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a problem with us taking favorites this week, go back to last weekend's video, UFC 326, Charles Oliveira. I was one of the highest individuals out there on Charles Oliveira. Someone in my live asked, how confident are you on Charles Oliveira to get the job done? And I said 100% confident. I thought he was going to get it done, no questions asked. And everyone else wanted to talk about Max. Big time dog call there from Charles Oliveira. But this week, it is what it is. And our job is to bring you the winners of each fight. If you're looking for betting advice, take a look at what we throw at the bottom of the screen for each fight. Predictions don't always equate to betting advice.
100%. And as we grow, we'll probably get a little bit, a couple more things to create a community, maybe a Discord channel or something to make it easier for like betting and advice and stuff like that. Because putting it in the videos is kind of tough sometimes because there's a lot of different ways you can go. You can do the over unders on all these other different apps and stuff like that too. But yeah, man. Free agency. Free agency is starting. Has started a little bit. We're gonna keep it there. We're not gonna talk about anything else because I don't. Ugh, man. Kenneth Walker, the big signing today, as of today. Hey, how you feeling about that? You excited about that? Got one of the 3 big running backs.
Yeah, I'm so excited, guys. We have someone that can run the ball past 10 yards. Okay. He's capable of breaking off a big run. Pacheco, see you, bud. I'm over Pacheco. So glad we got Kenneth Walker the third coming into the building, gonna get the job done for us and take us to another Super Bowl appearance. I'm looking forward to the season. I mean, it's just one of those things. Would I have loved Jeremiah Love? Yes. But at pick number 9, guess what? I don't necessarily think he's there. And you have to be aggressive if you're the Chiefs in free agency. Glad they secured the running back position.
Oh, and you guys just signed a good D lineman from New England, right?
New England as well. Yep. Tonga, run stuffer, very versatile, hustles, big boy.
I mean, and Chris Jones there in the middle too. Yeah, if you guys can't tell, if you're new here, we are big football fans as well. I don't know if anything gives it away. And the thing on the back, it does give it away. I don't want to hear shit about the Crosby trade. I really don't. My heart is broken. End of an era. My heart is broken, but we just sit here and waste away his career years. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Raiders have been very active today. Lots of big signings. Got a couple linebackers. Tyler Linderbaum, the center signing. Super excited about that. I'm whipping Brevin's ass with Ashton Genty in fantasy next year. Boy doesn't even know about it. But yeah, Brevin, anything else for the people before we let him go? White House card. We didn't even talk about the White House card.
We're going to talk about the White House card. We can talk about it in our next video and in some videos coming up this week, but I don't want to say underwhelming. It was a little bit confusing with the whole fight got canceled at the last second stuff. A lot of people out there just saying that was all a front. That was Dana and the matchmakers kind of having something in their back pocket to mitigate some of the frustration from the fans that thought the card could have been a little bit better because I feel like we were promised something a little bit bigger than it is. But either way, I'm excited for it. It will be such a cool experience, similar to the Sphere card, right? Like a lot of people aren't necessarily going to remember all the fighters that were on that card. They're just going to remember the card itself. And I feel like that's going to be very similar with this White House event.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I feel like it's not a bad card by any means. The co-main and main are pretty sick. Um,
And Steve and Diego, which I don't think it should be the first fight of the night, but
my God, that is a fucking barn burner, dude. Um, but yeah, I agree with you with the Sphere thing. It was kind of like they hyped up the Sphere and this card. It's like this is the greatest thing you will ever see. You're never gonna see anything like this again. This and that, and everybody keeps talking about it. Like when you hype something up that much, I feel like everybody was like John Jones and Conor McGregor, and they would have been happy with it. And neither are on the card. I know John's out there. Oh, so we're gonna act like we didn't sit here and discuss. I don't know how we can believe a goddamn thing John Jones says anymore, but yep. White House card is announced. We'll talk about it soon. Another weekend, another set of fights. Good luck to your teams of free agency, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it was a pleasure. Bingo, bango, baby. Hey.